Hi, gang. It's Tuesday. It is a sunny and beautiful day, and I'm here to talk about quilting. Hopefully, you're having some fun quilting at home too. Leave me comments when you log in so I can see if the comments are working because they don't always work. I'm going to get my phone on to get my backup comments. So, just working on some details here. Okay. Hi. Okay. Comments are working. Excellent. Thank you, Janet. Hello, and Kissimmee. Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. And we have another hello. Kissimmee, Florida. How are you feeling about two hurricanes hitting and neither hitting Florida? I think one hit California and one's going toward Texas. So yeah, different. Sunny, windy PEI. It's on my go-to list, Sandal. I would love to be there. Let's see. We have hello June. Ontario, hello. I'm not sure where Brockville is, but I've been through various places in Ontario, just across the border. And hello in Texas. So I have a few things to tell you today. I'm still moving kind of slowly, but all is going well. I'm on a lot of medications to try to get everything going well, which is the face, the acne. Sorry, it's the reality of my life. I decided when I got sick, which was 14 years ago, 14 years ago, and then I was diagnosed 11 years ago, I think. I decided when I got sick that I wasn't going to wait until I looked good, until I felt good. I was just going to keep going and just give a real life picture because I don't have, and nobody has, time to wait for perfect. So you're going to see me whenever the meds are doing what they're doing. You're going to see me when I'm working from a chair because I don't want to stop living. I'm going to do what I can with what I have on that given day. I have every confidence that this is a blip on the radar, that my back issue, the disc is back where it belongs, which is awesome. But I have to try to hold it there. So I'm able to move a little bit, but I'm now dealing with side effects from all the meds they had to work. Anyway, just life. But I think this is not the beginning of the end. It is. It's just a blip. And hello in Norway. Oh, that is on the list. Definitely on the list as well. A wonderful attitude. Well, I just don't have time. I don't have time to waste. I think because I was so young when I got sick, I was just over 40, that I was like, well, I'm going to do what I can with what I have on any given day, because nobody has time to waste for that. So you're going to see me warts and all, or medication acne and puffy face and all of that. You're just going to get to enjoy it. But so that's my back. It is doing better. Now, to have some fun, what I didn't show you, let me pull up a picture here, and it's a safe picture. Okay, what I didn't show or talk about was this. So this happened. Now, there's a reason that I took that picture on top of my cutting board, because this is a rotary cutter accident. I'm down to a regular Band-Aid, but one of those fingertip wraparound things. Yeah, I did a decent job. So the first day I put that splint on just to avoid knocking into it and screaming. So yeah, that happened. Pretty proud of that one. Let's see. I wake up every day with a purpose and goals. Exactly. I know what I want to do on a given day. Some days my body doesn't allow me to do that, which is fine. Then I skip and work on the next day. So sometimes things get a little delayed, like you don't have a newsletter yet, and there won't be as much content. this week, as I wanted there to be, because I was working without a finger. I did 2 very involved quilts this week that I didn't get finished, both of them, and my back was icky and I had house guests and stuff. Anyway, any stitches? No. I did call my husband. It was about 7 o'clock at night, and I was trying to get it to stop bleeding, and I was afraid to look at it. You know that whenever you pinch it, I was afraid to look at it to see how bad it was. And I cut through my finger this way rather than into the finger, but I didn't know that. So when I was looking at it, I was seeing this very long gash. But it was just a flap. So there wasn't anything I could stitch it to. It was just a matter of getting it to stop bleeding. So it's not bad. My husband did worse. He did a kitchen accident several years ago with a mandolin and cut off the top of his finger. So once we could see, it was good. Anyway, it was just a matter of getting the bleeding stopped. Not a big deal. Why do our fingers always get in the way? My rotary cutter slipped while I was cutting scraps. I had just finished quilting a white quilt and I didn't bleed on the quilt. Yay. But my rotary cutter slipped and went right into my finger. I think it was good that I had just changed the blade because I wasn't pushing super hard. If I was pushing super hard, I'd have done worse. Let's see this. Styrofoam helps stop the bleeding? I'm going to need to hear more information about that because I had to take my husband to the hospital for a clotting factor. You know, they put some clotting stuff on it because he you're gone. Ooh, 7 stitches. Yuck. No. I know it. This was Thursday I did this. So by Thursday in 2 more days, I'll barely know I did it. It's doing quite well. It was minor-ish. You're happy I'm here? I'm happy you're here. You are my people. And I'm very happy to be chatting with y'all. You are the reason I get up in the morning, like, oh, I'm going to finish that quilt so I can get that out in the newsletter. Hospital placed styrofoam on your toe when you cut it. Was this like hard packing styrofoam? You know, like a sheet of styrofoam that goes around your computer to monitor or whatever you get packed in that. Flour works for bleeding. Good to know. My sister's not one for wounds, but I was texting her and I kept saying, I'm going to send you a picture. And I was sending her pictures with the bandage on because she's like, don't, I don't want to see it. So no, the hard part about texting my husband is it was about 7 o'clock at night and he works all weird hours because he works in different time zones and stuff. So I texted him, I'm like, do you want to come home for an ER run? Because I sliced my finger. And he came home and he said he had been in the parking lot. Let's see. He was in the parking lot getting ready to go buy me ice cream. And when he came home, I'm like, you should have bought the ice cream first. And he's like, but I didn't know how bad it was. He has since gone to get me the ice cream. Let's see what else is here. A piece of a cup. A piece of a cup is great. Perfect. I can do that. Excellent. I will keep that in mind. Hopefully not doing this. I have never, pre-pandemic, I've never done a rotary cutter injury that was more than like a paper cut, like a little tiny little thing. I've done 3 since the pandemic, all on the same finger. So, this one was one. I was home alone and I just wanted my husband to help me stop bleeding. So that happened. So I also had house guests this weekend, which was lovely. My daughter's family came to visit and it was so great seeing the girls. We're just hotel when they have in-town events for, weddings and things like that. So I got to see them around their festivities and I'm like, you're only home for breakfast? Okay. And then I could plan a great big brunch because, we needed to mom them. So, we had farm breakfast. So I had big steak and eggs and a hint if you do brunches, because my back has been bad and I'm not standing and my finger was, I'm quilting with a finger, like a rubber glove, just but on your finger trying to do the cooking. I made twice baked potatoes the night before to just heat up for breakfast. So we had really good potatoes, but I didn't have to do a lot of work in the morning. So, and then I had made oatmeal scones with whipped cream and fresh berries. So it was all farm fresh stuff. It was delicious. Krista, your finger looked like when Han Solo sliced open the tauntaun. Ick. It's good to see your smiling face live. You're off to the doctors. Have a fun doctor's visit. You can come back and check out the rest of this. It'll be archived on YouTube and in the on Debbie Brown Quilts. Yeah, the things we do to our fingers. And one thing I discovered, because I had called my daughter whenever I was afraid to look at it. I'm like, I'm afraid to look at my finger. I just want to talk to somebody, because she's good at momming me right back. She was like, does it hurt a lot? And I'm like, no, because my back hurt a lot. Isn't that funny that when your back hurts a lot, this doesn't hurt at all? So it's, it's tender to the touch, but it's no big deal. And who touches like right here on your finger? Because it's like right next to my nail. It's minor. It was only major till we got the bleeding stopped. So life is beautiful. I'm looking forward to getting off medications and moving, and my glasses are getting further away as my cheeks are getting bigger, but that's been my week. So let me show you the quilting. I took some time off to fully enjoy time with my daughter's family, and got to visit with them on their for a couple brunches, and then I did some quilting. Also took off some time because I felt poopy. So not everything's done that I wanted to get done, but I'll get your newsletter out shortly. So I had that on for the first day, and then I had one of those roll down finger cots to just try to keep so I could cook and stuff without worrying about it. Now this I put out on Instagram, and no one noticed that I had that splint on in the picture, because the night I cut my finger, I basted this quilt together and started marking the lines. This is called Floating Star. It is not done. This will not be in your newsletter this week. I'd hoped it would be, but it won't be. Your newsletter should be up by tonight. Because I was like, oh, I'll finish it and get it in. And now I'm like, I'm never fit. It's not going to get done. You'll get it a week late. It's already 2 years late. So do you care? This is a laser level that I've got for less than $10, probably, like at whatever that Harbor Freight tool place or something. It was just a really cheap laser level. What I did was I was marking rays going out from the center point of my quilt, and I put the laser level on the quilt, touching those lines, touching the points that I wanted to go from point A to point B. And then I brought in my chalk pencil and my ruler and traced that line. So I didn't have to worry about having a really long ruler to make sure that it was going where it needed to go. I just used a laser level. That was really fun. And it's so cute. Everyone loved the idea so much that no one noticed I had cut my finger off in the picture. This is as far as I am on it. So I marked, I just threw it out on the deck a little while ago. So I marked rays going from the center out to each intersection of the block at the border. And there are 32 segments to do. I'm done with 5, so it'll be a while. This week has been a great week to just sit and do free motion quilting with a book in my ears, because I don't feel like moving a lot. My back has been a problem. So it's a lot of quilting. I'm trying to see how many cones of thread I can use. I looked at the background design, and the background design, let me see if I can make that bigger. I don't know if that got bigger for you. I'm not sure how the software works, but I looked at Starry Night. And so there's swirls, and then I did pebbles in between. So it's a lot of quilting, and I'm having a really good time doing it. It's just going to take a while. Okay, so let me stop sharing. Cindy, you like the laser level. I mean, if I could have found the yardstick, I might have used that, but I couldn't find it. But I knew exactly where the laser level was, and it worked great. So let's see. Oh, good. I'm glad the blow up, the enlargement did work on screen. Again, I'm just not ever sure how the software works. I know how things work on Zoom, but I'm learning this software and it's going through Facebook and it's going through YouTube. So I'm never sure where the stopping points, Your hubby has one, you'll have to ask. I didn't ask on this one. I just went and bought one. But normally, whenever I say my husband bought this for me, it means he bought it for himself and I stole it. So then he had to go buy a new one. And then I put pink Hello Kitty duct tape on everything that I've now claimed because it's mine. That's just the way I do. But yeah, laser level. I bought that to mark these lines. Now this quilt is in Color Blocks 2021, which is going to be renamed Volume 1. And I'm about to close that class. Once this gets published, I'll leave it open for 1 week for you to join it. And then after that, you'll have to pay to join it. If you have already joined it and not paid for it, you are in it for free forever. Okay, so I will close this class once all of the quilts are done, and this is the last quilt from 2021. So if you have not joined Color Blocks 2021, do that because it's free and you'll have 12 plus quilts and 12 plus machine quilting, and it's the beginning of the Color Blocks. So join that for free, and then after that, it'll be a for purchase item. My goal has always been to let it be free while I'm doing it, let it be up for an extra week, and then make it a for purchase item and do that every year. But I didn't finish 2021. I didn't finish 2022. And 2023, I'll likely finish because, well, a lot can happen. But I might finish, but it'll just be a smaller class because I took some months off while I was sick. You steal things from hubby all the time, like French fries. Yeah, and tools and being a big girl, I don't steal my husband's clothes because he's a lean man and I'm not. But I would steal his fleece and back in the day when I fit in them. And he never minded. So that is going to be up next week or later. Just working on that. And let me show you what is coming up in As the Bobbin Turns this week. So I'm in the process of publishing this right now. The video is uploading. So I finished another wedding quilt. This was a neighbor's kid got married, and this will be shipped off. It's going out in the post. Mailing quilts makes me tired because you have to wrap them so tight and get them. They're always so fussy. So it takes me a couple days to work up the mental energy to mail a quilt. But this was Picnic Patch. It's a cutie quilt. I used grays because all those millennials love gray. And I had a lot of fun quilting this. Now I've quilted this before. You've seen many of these. So I did the block with the background quilting, the ribbon candy, the what do you call it? Pumpkin seeds and the border. But in the class, let me stop here. Stop and come back and say hi to you so I can see you. Buttons are not working. So in the class, even though I may quilt the same quilt many times, it's kind of in the subscription. This is for my subscribers. It's kind of a view over my shoulder. So this time I talked about choosing which free motion foot I would use and why I chose which foot this time, why I chose which technique this time. And then show the different marking techniques and different things I did. Hola, Madeline. So glad to see you here. One of the few quilters I've seen in person this year. I got to meet her in Connecticut, which was fun. So one thing I want to tell you about that quilt I just made was I used a lot of blue pounce on it, and I didn't use barely blue. I used blue. So I threw it in the washing machine, which is why you're seeing a little bit of the crinkle in that picture. Threw it in the washing machine to take the blue off, and the blue didn't come off. And I was a little upset. So, but I don't get real upset. I'm like, okay, we just go to the next step. I've got all the time in the world. I just go to the next step, just the next step, the next step. So have you ever seen the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where the dad uses Windex for everything. Windex like will take care of something on your arm or whatever. I use Dawn for everything. I'm a Dawn girl. So Dawn Power Scrub, it's my thing. It's my jam. So I took the Dawn Power Scrub and sprayed each block and then rubbed it in with my knuckles because I couldn't use my other hand because it was bandaged and all that. Rubbed it in and then threw it in the washing machine and all the blue came off. So that's a hint for everyone that Dawn Power Scrub took the blue off the white fabric. It was pretty great. I have several more wedding quilts I'm behind. When my girls were in town for the wedding this weekend, they did take a quilt with them to the wedding, and another quilt for a family member. But I haven't made their wedding quilt yet because they got married in March, but it was just a couple days after I got out of the hospital. So you're not going to see wedding pictures of me in it because I look even worse than this. But I got to the wedding, which was the important part. But there's a lot of wedding quilts I still owe people. So you'll be seeing me quilt a lot more of those. And I have a lot of fun ideas of different things to do in it. But the ribbon candy is still there because that's the best thing to do on the quilt. Let's see, Dawn works great. It does. I use Dawn on everything. I was skimming gravy. I was skimming fat off the top of pork broth when I made carnitas, and the bag, I accidentally hit the bag on the tip of a knife. When I skim fat off of broth, I put a bag, a Ziploc bag, and put like a freezer bag and put everything in there and let it set in a, like a bowl with a bag in it and put all the broth in. And then all the fat goes to the top. Then I cut a corner off, drain all of the broth out, the fat stays in the bag, and I'm done. Well, I hit the bag against the tip of a knife and it exploded everywhere in my kitchen. So Dawn Power Wash, my kitchen was so clean that day. It was crazy. Love Dawn. I love Dawn. There's a few, I'm not very much a brand name person. I grew up, with generics and store brands rather than name brands. And I'm still that way. And I don't buy very many products that have names on them anyway, because most of the food and stuff, so sorry. Call from name unavailable. Don't need that one. Most of the foodstuffs I buy are like from the farm. So that all works well. But Dawn is a brand name I believe in. Call from name unavailable. And whoo, yes, definitely. It was such a relief. But I was really happy to have finished that quilt. I have a blue and yellow one to make. I have more gray, another gray one to make. I think one was requested. My daughter married a triplet, so there's a lot of gifts in the family. So for my daughter's brother-in-law's wedding, I think I'm going to do like a lavender background on gray was the request, something like that. But I have a lot of these quilts to make, and I have some really fun variations that aren't feathers, but to see if it works out just as well. Hi, Patty. You're here just in time. I'm very glad you're here. So let me go back and see if I have anything left on my page to show you, because I prepped that ahead of time to bring up pictures. So there's the quilt, which I love. And here's a hint. I did the whole quilt free motion because I didn't feel like doing anything else. There's no ruler work. I didn't want to change the foot. I didn't want to change anything. But man, I love that quilt. It's just so happy. And what's so funny is I hang it off the deck, and I've had to wait for days that I was able to walk down the stairs with my back, because I have to walk down to the driveway to take the picture. And apparently every time I do it is when my mail carrier comes up the driveway. So she enjoys watching the quilt show. I enjoy this quilt for all of the ribbon candy and just the general beauty of it. But this used to be all blue rings. And this was blue pen, which came off in the first washing. And yep, I've hit bottom. Let's see. Madeline, oh, I can't wait to see yours. I had my quilt with me when Madeline was fabric shopping for it, but I put a low jack chip in there so she wouldn't run off with it, because I don't trust her. Yeah, I do. Elizabeth, you just found out that Terry is teaching at the John Campbell Folk School in February. She is. I'm so excited for her. Um, I'm beyond excited. She's a friend I talk to every day, and she's been here in person, which was so great having a visitor from Texas. And she's an amazing machine quilting teacher. If you get to go to, is that in Pigeon Forge, I think. Definitely check it out. I know it is a life goal. Right now, don't have much in-person teaching. I was planning on it, and then I got COVID, and then I was planning on it, and then I have this back thing, and I have some family stuff coming up. But I will probably be doing some in-person teaching, but I'm not going to be, a lot of international and far-reaching stuff. It'll be more local to start. But Terry is definitely going to be there, and you should take a class from her. She is amazeballs. So I think that is all I have. I've been packing orders and folding cuties, and have a bunch of new stuff coming up. And the content, my goal is to have 2 pieces of content a week, but you might get 1 on the weeks that I'm a little slow on. And I think you're okay with that. I don't want to catch up on everything and overwhelm you. And steroids let me do that sometimes whenever I'm moving really, really fast. So I will try to keep a steady supply of content going for you. But as the Bobbin Turns, we'll have content this week, and then I have to look into what is next week. I'm just checking out my calendar. So this week there is nothing coming in color blocks. You are getting Wedding Quilt. And tomorrow night, we will have Thread Needles Batting and Tension class. Well, I'll be talking about that, and you can bring your machine quilting questions as well. Let's see, Patty. Ohio is not that far, and that is true because I am back and forth to Pittsburgh a lot with my mom. So Ohio is not far at all, considering I'm starting in Pittsburgh. I'm not currently booking any teaching just because of some family issues, but hopefully starting in 2024, I will be booking some in-person teaching. I had a few things on the calendar before then, but it'll be picking up. And Ohio counts all of the Northeast. So basically Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and all of the Northeast, New Jersey, New York, and New England. Those are all places I can drive to. I am not up to running through airports at this point. As I was taking some packages to the mailbox today, I'm like, that involved 1 flight of stairs and I'm exhausted. So we'll wait a little bit for me to get past this blip, and we'll see what comes up next. But I do have I do have a lot of ideas for classes. I have time to make the samples, so I will be ready when the time comes. So like I said, I think that's all I have. I'm going to put my book back on. I am finishing Gulag Archipelago, Volume 1. They divided the audiobooks into 3 books. It's about 80 hours or so of audio, and it's something I've always meant to read. And I found that it was downloadable in a library. And I also found it's incredibly riveting, because just the way it's written and the way the narrator works. So it's really, really great listening. If that's something that you're interested in, just, how the Soviet pogroms, how the going through the gulags and the prisons and the interrogations and the cells and the work camps and the re-education and all of that. It's just part of history I didn't know much about. So I'm almost finished with Volume 1, and then I think I might have to read like a fairy tale and then go on to Volume 2 and then read like a fairy tale. So I will go back, finish some books. I will see you again next week, Madeline. Happy quilting. I'll be back tomorrow night with Thread, Needles, Batting, and Tension. Your newsletter should come out by this evening. I just have to put a few more pieces in it in between my quilting. And then I'll be back again next Tuesday. Hopefully, let me look at the calendar. Next Tuesday is the 29th. So you might get previews of what my Friday, September 1st new cutie quilt is, and Friday, September 1st YouTube video is. My cutie. So I have a cutie video I want to come out next Friday, and I have the color block quilt to come out next Friday. So you'll be back for some previews. Happy quilting, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Just find some time to enjoy the day, whatever that looks like for you. For me, it's a warm cup of tea, a book, and some quilting. Happy quilting, and I'll see you again tomorrow night. And tomorrow night at 7 o'clock New York time in Debbie Brown's Machine Quilting Studio or on YouTube. And then I'll see you again next Tuesday here at Debbie Brown Quilts, Debbie Brown's Machine Quilting Studio, and on YouTube.